Hi, welcome to another video by Creating a Family. Today we're going to be talking about international adoptions from China, more specifically the future of international adoptions from China. I'm Dawn Davenport. I'm the director of Creating a Family. We're a nonprofit providing education, resources, and support on adoption and infertility. If you want more information about the future of adoptions from China, I would recommend that you listen to our 1-hour radio show that we did July 29th, 2009. We go into, of course, a great deal more detail. I'm going to start by reading you a letter we received for that show. This is from Karen. It's actually an email, not a letter. Karen. I know it will be easy to skip over the tough questions on the China program and where we are right now and the future of non-special needs. Please be sure to spend quality time on this subject. Talking about special needs babies and toddlers is fun and upbeat, but there are so many families in the queue waiting for years, and we deserve time talking about how we got here and what the future holds for us. Okay, Karen, that's fair, and that's what this video is going to be all about. Karen refers to the non-special needs program and the special needs program, so I think we need a little bit of understanding of what we mean when we say that. Traditionally, China has been a non-special needs program, meaning that the children that were being referred from China were considered healthy, keeping in mind that there are no guarantees of health, but nonetheless, that's what the traditional program was, as young and as healthy as possible, and most of them were baby girls. When we speak of a special needs program, and China has always had a special needs program, but it's becoming much more common now. When we speak of special needs adoptions, we are talking about children that have conditions that potentially will make it harder for agencies to find a family. And as Karen alluded to, China has both programs, and today we're going to be spending most of our time on this video talking about the non-special needs program. Currently, families that are being matched by the China adoption bureaucracy or agency, which is called CCAA. Currently, the families that are being matched in the summer of 2009 have waited approximately 40 months for their child, for their referral. This waiting time is almost certainly going to increase for the foreseeable future. I think it'd be helpful here to give you a little bit of history. Adoptions from China began in the early 1990s. China had less restrictions than other countries. The children were almost all of them girls. Most of them were under the age of 1 and were relatively healthy. As a result, China became the most popular country very quickly, both to the United States as well as throughout the world. And more and more people were submitting their paperwork. The adoption paperwork is called a dossier. You'll hear that referred to. The number of dossiers being submitted increased rapidly, reaching their peak sometime in 2006. And then in May 2007, China instituted some new requirements for adoptive parents, much more restrictive requirements. As a result, after May 2007, the number of people applying to adopt from China began to decrease. As of now, the wait is continuing to increase, and it's increasing exponentially. The CCAA is matching fewer families. As a result, we know that they're matching fewer families. What we don't necessarily know is why fewer families are being matched. There's a lot of rumors out there. There's a lot of people who say they know for certain, but the truth is there's been very few well-researched and well-documented studies that really identify the reasons. However, we can speculate. There are fewer children being abandoned. Again, we don't have any real firm evidence of this, and it's been pointed out that because this type of information is not available from the government, is not being publicized by the government of China, we really don't know. But there is some pretty strong anecdotal evidence to indicate this, at least in the urban areas. The social welfare institutions or orphanages in the urban areas report that they have fewer children, and that the children that are entering the orphanages, and of the children they do have, a higher percentage of them have special needs. And again, we're hearing that from a number of orphanages in the urban areas. Part of the reason is the economy. The economy in China has improved. As a result, families that have more than their allotted one child can now afford to pay a fine and not have to relinquish the child or abandon the child. So that's one reason. There's also been a push by China to improve the public perception of girls and the value of girls. China has developed a rather significant gender imbalance due to any number of reasons. Adoption, one reason; selective abortion, gender-based abortions, another reason. Unfortunately, some reports of infanticide of female infants. All of those would have led to, in the last 20-some-odd years, a predominance of males that are now reaching marrying age, and that's becoming a problem for China. Also, there is some evidence that the one-child policy is being less zealously enforced. Always in the rural areas, it really was more of a two-child policy, and with ethnic minorities in China were also allowed to have more than one child. But even in some of the urban areas, I've read recently about Shanghai reducing or not enforcing the one-child policy. So obviously, if that carries throughout the country, and families can have two, there will be fewer children who are being abandoned. Another reason that has been a decrease in the number of children available for international adoption is there's some evidence that there has been an increase in Chinese families adopting domestically. Again, I haven't been able to find any firm research that supports this, but again, we're hearing that anecdotally. On the radio show, one of our guests said that some of the urban orphanages report actually having a waiting list of domestic adoptive families looking for children. So that would be another reason that fewer children would be available. Okay. So we know that there are fewer children. We know that the waiting time is increasing right now. But what's going to happen when the CCAA finally reaches that May 27th date, when they've reached all the dossiers that have been submitted as of May 2007? Will we then see a dramatic decrease in the waiting time? Well, truthfully, no one knows. If anybody tells you they do know, they probably don't. Some people think that there will be a significant increase at that time. Others do not. But keep one thing in mind. If the CCAA continues to match at the rate they're matching now, it could be 4 to 5 years before we even reach that point, where they reached the May 2007 point. Most agencies I talk to think that ultimately what China is going to do is institute a quota system where they restrict the number of dossiers each agency can submit. And that's and by doing that, they will reduce the ridiculously long waits that currently is happening for any families that are going for the non-special needs. Although it's not clear what's going to happen on the waiting time for a traditional as young and healthy a baby girl as possible from China program. What is clear is that China is moving more towards a special needs adoption program. Some of these special needs are easily correctable, some are not. One should not automatically jump onto the special needs adoption without giving it a lot of thought. But for many people, they're finding that this is a wonderful alternative. We've done a number of Creating a Family shows on special needs adoption. The July 29, 2009 show, half of it was devoted to the special needs adoption program from China specifically. And we're going to be doing another Creating a Family video on how to adopt a special needs child from China. We'll be uploading that very soon, so you can just go to the Creating a Family site and go to the adoption video page, and you'll be able to find the link there. Or my suggestion is sign up for the updates, our weekly email update from creatingafamily.com, and we're going to send you the link. Thanks for joining us today.